All right, let's do some arc length problems here. So on these ones, a little bit more work to do because we got to use some equations. Okay. So, given the circle below, find the length of PQ. So let's see. So PQ is right there. Okay, so the big thing we need to know is we're going to need to know the angle of our arc, or the measure of the arc, and we need to know the radius of our circle here. So I'm going to kind of write out what we know. So we already know our angle, so perfect. I'm going to just call X our angle is 109, and our radius is 14. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate first our circumference. C is going to be 2 times pi, so 3.14, times our radius, 14. Okay, so when I do that, I get our circumference is about 87.9. Okay, so that's all the way around the circle. So now we can calculate our arc length by taking that number times our angle, which is 109. So I'm going to take 109 times our circumference, 87.9, over 360. Okay. And when we do that, plug it into the calculator. Plug all that in. 9. I get 26.6, or about 27 degrees. Okay. So not degrees. 26.6 is just our units. Okay. So 26.6 for the first one. Okay, here's our second one. So it says JL is 50. So that's this whole length right here. Okay, so remember, radius is just from the center to the edge. So we're going to cut that in half. So my radius is going to just be 25. Okay. Let's see, what else do we know? We know we want to find LM. So that's this guy right here. Okay, so we need to know what this angle is. Okay, and if we look, we know this one's 35. So that means this is 35. So I'm going to say X is 35 degrees. Okay. And remember, our two equations are circumference is 2 pi r, and our arc length, we're just going to use X times our circumference over 360. So here's just your angle. All right, so my circumference, 2 times 3.14 times my radius, 25. Okay, so when we do that, I get 157.1. And then we can plug it into that second equation. Okay, and so we'll do 35 degrees times our 157.1 circumference over 360, and I get 15.3. About 15.2, 15.3. Okay, so that's our arc length, LM here. All right, let's do number 13 here. Oops. Okay, given the circle below, find the length of EBC. So EBC. Okay. So again, we need to know two things before we start. We need to know our radius and our angle. Okay. So our radius is this 30 right here. So radius is 30. Now we need to know what this angle is right here, this whole thing. Okay, now this chunk right here is 90. Okay, so we need to know what is the rest of this right here. Okay, so a couple ways we can look at that. One is that we're using the whole circle except for these two angles. So to get that red angle there, we could do 360 minus 19 minus 127. So 360 minus 19 minus 127. And I got 214. So that whole angle right in there is 214 degrees. Okay, so that's what we're going to plug in for x. Okay, so circumference first, 2 times pi times our radius. Okay, and our radius was 30. And so when we do that, I get 188.5. Do our second part here to calculate our arc length now. Take our angle times our circumference and divide by 360. Okay, then I got 112, about 112.1. Okay, yours might be a little different depending on rounding, but as long as you got around 112, you're good. Okay, this one, trickiest part is making sure you can find that angle first. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, so on this one, now we are finding the length based on if RT is 12, so RT is this guy. Okay, again, that's the whole thing. We only want half of that. So our radius is really going to be 12 divided by 2, which is just 6. Okay, and we're looking for ST. So S to T right here. Whoops. Okay, so we know our radius. We need to find our angle. This angle right here. Okay, and how I would find that is it's right across from this whole thing. So we can just add these two together to find that red angle there. So 68 plus 16. Add those together, and since that together they're a vertical angle to that red one. So 68 plus 16, I got 84. Okay. So now, that's what we're going to use for our angle. And so let's plug this stuff in. So circumference, 2 times pi times our radius. Okay, and I got, let's see, 37.7. And now we'll do our arc length. So we're going to plug in, let's see, plug in our angle times our circumference and divide by 360. And when we do that, I get our length is just 8.8. Okay.